1000 greetings retro gamers and welcome to another review for Retro Game On. Lemmings is available on a ridiculous amount of devices, but today we're checking out the SNES port developed by Sunsoft in 1992. The original Lemmings on the Amiga was developed by DMA Design, who then promptly changed their name and probably disappeared into obscurity. I don't know. Either way, this is one of the cruisiest puzzle games that I've ever played. I tell ya, it's nice to play something that doesn't suck or is sort of okay for a change. I might possibly do it more often.
The truth, man. Lemmings are real creatures, like, in real life, not pixel art. I don't know why I didn't know that. Honestly, it's like I've been living under a rock my whole life where they don't exist at all. Oh well, this channel is opening up new and weird things for me, and for that, I am grateful. A common misconception is that lemmings are so brain dead that they'll willfully commit mass suicide by walking off cliffs because they don't know any better. However, Wikipedia has me believe that this is an over-exaggeration to do with migratory behaviour. I won't argue the merits of if it's true or not though, because honestly, I don't care that much, and it isn't what this video is about. It is a little bit relevant though, because the supposed misconception is the basis for this game. There are 125 levels to be played where you manipulate a group of oddly dressed lemmings, and it's your job to make sure a certain predetermined percentage makes it out alive. It varies from level to level, but a certain amount of lemmings will drop out of a trapdoor at a certain rate. You as a player will have access to a certain amount of classes that can be applied to lemmings individually to help solve the puzzle of getting them out of there while a clock counts down to imminent doom. The certain classes and how many that are available will always change, but they must all be used strategically to ensure that a maximum amount of lemmings are saved before the timer runs out. The climber allows lemmings to climb vertically up surfaces, the floater lets them graciously float down comically of an umbrella, the bomber will self-destruct, which is definitely the least politically correct thing you can do in a video game these days, the blocker will stop lemmings from walking a certain way and reflect their intended direction, the builder will build a staircase upwards, the basher will tunnel horizontally, the miner will dig downwards diagonally, and the digger will just dig straight down. Wow, that was a long sentence. I'll use level 20 as an example to show how these classes can be implemented. As the first lemming drops into the level, you want him to build a staircase over the initial gap, while the second and third lemmings are used as blockers to stop everyone else from walking into the acid because the goggles will do nothing. Sorry, it was mandatory to tell that joke. Meanwhile, you'll turn the first lemming into a basher to get through all those hollow wafer sticks, and then into a builder again to get over the last gap and onwards to freedom. You'll then sacrifice the two blocker lemmings for the common good of the rest, taking care that none are still walking left, as without the blocker there, they'll walk to their demise. With stairs built over the gaps and nothing blocking them, they'll all wander to the exit, finalising the level. Using the D-pad on the SNES's controller definitely does not compare to a mouse in regards to moving the cursor, but to my surprise the movability is actually quite flexible. To sweeten the deal, you can even move around the level and pre-select classes while paused, as long as you can put up with the music that will continue to play. This is also a good way to strategize if the impending nature of a clock counting down deters you. Some levels get quite large, so they may require a bit of forethought depending on what grade you averaged in high school. One feature I miss is the ability to speed up everything, which I believe is in the DOS version. Sometimes there is a bit of waiting around as the lemmings make their way to the exit en masse, but oh well. It would be a nice feature, but a decent amount of patience will fix that problem. With many levels comes great responsibility, in regards to remembering passwords anyway. As much as I want to boo any password system when a cartridge save is feasible on the system, these aren't too bad considering there isn't a million characters to input. I have it easy since I can just refer back to my previously recorded footage to pick up a password, but even back in the day I can imagine these weren't too much of a hassle. There is even a section in the booklet where you can associate every level with a password, which some previous owner has so nicely filled out for me. The graphics as far as detail are concerned isn't spectacular, but the environments are interesting to say the least. I'm not too sure if there is a particular storyline paired with a game about saving small furry mammals, but the themes of the levels certainly do vary. One minute you're in seemingly ancient Roman ruins, but the next thing you know you're in something that should belong in Logan's Run. Forget about how pointless, long and bland the intro animation is, concur that the graphics in this game are nice looking, and probably leave it at that. There are some frame rate issues however, but I only noticed this when you nuke a level. Oh yeah, you can totally do that and every lemming will explode at the same time, which naturally slows everything down since there could be dozens of lemmings on screen at any one time. Since this ends a level though, it doesn't affect how you play. Frankly, I'm quite impressed that the SNES can handle that many entities moving independently at the same time anyway. The music isn't bad by any means, but comes off as a bit cheesy at times. Most tracks are renditions of classical or traditional songs to avoid copyright problems, and probably also to stop poor YouTubers like me being messed over by Content ID in the far-flung future of 2015. There are tracks like London Bridge is falling down and she'll be coming around the mountain, meaning they're recognisable but could be annoying depending on how much they plagued your childhood.
played any other version, but as I alluded to in the intro, there are roughly 20 other versions out there. This is just such a calming game to play. It challenges you enough to keep you thinking, but not enough that you're just staring into space for half an hour. No doubt just about all the consoles you own before the year 2000 will have a version of this available, and no doubt that it'll be quite cheap as well.
Hi retro gamers, and thanks for watching. Today's question of the day is, what puzzle game had you the most stumped as you played? Or alternatively, which ones just seemed too easy? I'll include point and click adventure games too into this question, since they're basically puzzle games as well. Otherwise, there has been a bit of activity on my blog recently. I blogged about some $1 PS1 games that I picked up complete and almost in brand new condition, and I also wrote a bit about Vib Ribbon in a separate post which I reviewed a couple of videos ago. Anyway, thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you next time.